Hello for my FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus Side Stories with Trust. Yes, Trust. Monika and Sayori will be our first one. I don't want to try and fathom out an order myself, but the game has given me an order to go by naturally, so we're going to select this. Trust. Begin this side story. Absolutely. Monika and Sayori. Let's see how I think. Oh, different music. Oh, this is really pretty. Another new background there. That's definitely new. A classroom, evening time. Okay, everyone. The literature club is starting. Let's all have a seat and take attendance, okay? Turn it down my end so I don't deafen myself. Ugh, I miss debate club. Who knew it would be so difficult to start a new club? I feel worse with each day that passes without anyone coming in. I'm really starting to lose confidence. Monika is the only member of the literature club. In the days that have passed, all of her efforts to recruit new members have been fruitless. Am I going about this wrong? Monika glanced at one of her flyers. The headline is, "Do you like literature?" It's a little bit plain. Maybe nobody is into literature enough to pick it over their other club interests. I can't just rely on people liking literature. I need to sell them on a vision. A vision. I'm not sure if these side stories are canon or not, because this definitely seems like a prequel. But what kind of vision? Monika rests her head on her desk deep in thought. But before she realized it, the recent nights of staying up too late to start to catch up to her. So it's so quiet, and the noise of the air conditioner is soothing. All before the dear protagonist of the story came into play. Hello, Sayori. Suddenly a voice causes Monika to snap awake. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I never did this. Is this a napping club? No, this is... Monika pauses, suddenly embarrassed to admit that this is in fact the literature club. This is the literature club. Yeah, I thought I got it wrong for a sec. I'm super sorry, it was like, so not professional for me to do that. Don't apologise, I do that all the time. Oh? Did I miss the club meeting? Where is everybody? Well, about that. This is everybody. Really? Just you? But we're getting more members. I'm working really hard on it. Hold on a sec. If it's just you, that means I got to be the vice president. Wait, vice president? What are your qualifications? Well, I'm better at napping than you. Maybe I should be president. And now you're just making fun of me. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your name? Sayori. Okay, Sayori. I've been trying really hard on this club. I know you caught me at a weird time. It's really disheartening to not be taken seriously, you know. I care so much about this. I just want to find other people who do too. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I do care, I promise. I have a hard time being serious, that's all. I didn't mean for it to hurt you. And I was joking about the vice president thing too. I'd make a terrible vice president. I mean, I'm sure that Monika tries to say something reassuring, but it's difficult when she still doesn't know much about Sayori. I'm sorry that this isn't like a real club yet. Would you still be interested in joining after I find a few more members at least? Well, no. I want to join now. Really? Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. Besides, I can tell how hard you've been working. You're doing something amazing, you should be proud of it, you know. So let me help you turn something stressful into something fun. If nothing else, I'm good at that too. So, one of those things? Honestly, how could I possibly say no to that? That's really sweet of you, Sayori. Oh, I'm Monika, by the way. Monika? That's such a cool name. Now you're just trying to cheer me up. But you're smiling. Well, I didn't say it didn't work. Monika glanced at the flyer on her desk and realized her name was already written on it. So what do we do first? Well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it? We could go home and try to come up with some new ideas to recruit club members. I can do that. Cool. and I think I need to put some more thought into my vision for the club. You know, like a mission. My mission is to make everyone happy. Yeah, something like that. I need to think about it. Hey, do you like hugs? I guess so. Aww. Sayori suddenly pulls Monika into a funny hug and lets go. Some people can just really use a hug sometimes. Besides, Sayori whispers loudly, hug energy is what keeps me at my best. Hug energy? Monika laughs. Although Sayori is very different from her, Monika feels her spirits lifted. Maybe it's just because she finally found another club member. But, well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow then. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to think really hard tonight about how to get more people. Yeah, me too. And thus the budding has begun. Whether this is canon or not, I don't know, but it would be more likely to be canon than not. It's definitely a prequel, or very, very far out in another timeline future. A day passes and the time comes for the Literature Club, Monika and Sayori, to reconvenes, as President Monika ensures that she's the first to arrive to the club room. But she finds herself waiting longer than expected for Sayori. It's been 10 minutes already. Maybe Sayori changed her mind about joining. No, that can't be. She was so excited yesterday, but I'm getting kind of worried. Suddenly Sayori comes bounding through the door. In her hand she holds a sheet of paper. Sorry I'm late. I'm here. It's okay, welcome back. And Sayori spins over to Monika and deposits the sheet onto Monika's desk. Oh, what's this? Aha. A letter of sorts. Or poem. Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. Caution me to watch my step, so I can't look back at my footprints. Climb the stairs ahead of me, while I look up to you. The more I look forward, the more I look up. The more I can lend to you. If you can trust me to follow your pace, I'll trust you to set it. If you can trust me to lend you a smile, I think it is lend and not bend. I'll trust you to return it. Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dream land. Hey, this is really good. You wrote this, Sayori? Of course. Wait, no, that's the wrong side of the paper. Huh? I wasn't ready to share that yet. I'm so embarrassed. Monika flips over the paper, which on the other side is a list of ideas for recruiting new club members. Oh, so this is what you're meant to show me. But I'm curious now. Do you write poetry often? I do, but I'm sure I'm not anywhere near as good as you are. Really? I'm actually terrible at writing poetry. I've never written anything I was happy with. Like, I always read it again a week after I write it and I'm like, wow, this is so stupid. I don't know. It's like the dramatic version of me doesn't agree with the person I want myself to be, or something like that. Or to become. Aww. You should have more confidence in yourself. You're the Literature Club president. I guess you're not wrong there. I need to, like, set a good example or whatever. You know, I can envision the club doing something like that. Doing what? You know, like sharing poems we write and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I would love that. It's such a good way to learn about other people, you know. It's like, we have so many emotions that we can't express to other people, usually. But you can when it's in a poem, right? Yeah, I think that's helping me form a more cohesive vision for the club. So I'm glad you showed me. Well, even though it was by accident. Me too. I felt embarrassed at first, but now it feels kind of good that someone else read it. I'll try to show you more of them in the future. I'd love that. Oh geez, I'm getting distracted. Do you want to go over this recruitment brainstorm together? My brain stormed so hard. It was like a brain hurricane. It's not that kind of thing. We're going to say a brain typhoon. My brain is a natural disaster. Sayori, that's terrible. Anyway, let's take a look at the list. Make cupcakes. I was hungry, but that's a good idea, isn't it? Let me think about this. I mean, when would we have the chance to give people cupcakes? You know, like when they come into the club. Or if we said we had free cupcakes on the flyers. I'm like, kind of worried that you'd bring the wrong kinds of people, you know. Wrong kinds? people would come just with cupcakes and then leave. Aw, nobody would do that. They would. That would be mean. But you know, I want to find people who are really into literature, even if they don't know it yet. Let's see, the next thing on the list. Hunt for people reading books. I don't think I get it. Like going around the school and finding people who are reading books, you know, like in the morning or during lunch, and we tell them to check out the literature club. Well, the problem with that is like, wouldn't most people reading books just be doing it for an assignment or something? How would we know if they're just reading for fun? Well, we could ask them. But then we'd be bothering people trying to do schoolwork. I didn't think about that part, I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologise. You're coming up with a lot more things than I can. Oh, your next idea is to hand out flyers rather than just put them up on the wall. I'd definitely like to start doing that. I'm useful. I never said you weren't. I just need to think. What would we tell people when handing them out? I don't want to be just like, join the literature club. Let's figure out how we can better engage people. What if you told about the club activities and stuff? What club activities? Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be my job to come up with that, right? A vision for the club. Okay, Sayori, pretend you're a normal person for a second. Wait, I don't mean it like that. You're saying Sayori is a normal. You know, like a random passerby who gets a flyer. How would you react to the idea of a literature club? Probably like, let's do it, stupid. I'm joining the anime club. What the heck? Sorry, I was just thinking of a friend of mine. Okay, what if I said that we, do group reading and discuss it together? I would probably nap through that. That's you, Sayori. Yeah, but that doesn't really sound fun to most people anyway. We need to really catch their interest, you know. Ugh, this sucks. Why is it so hard? Monika, don't be sad. What do you like about literature, Sayori? Me? Well, kind of what I said about the poem earlier. I think it gives you the chance to express yourself. Express yourself in ways you can't normally do when you're just doing your normal day and talking to your friends. I mean, we all have so many thoughts and feelings that we just don't get to share, you know? It's like intimate. Yeah. How do we get across that give that across to people? We could be express your true self. Be intimate with... No. Okay, that's kind of... Yeah, that's off the hook. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh! What is it? I forgot all of my things in my classroom. I must have gone too excited and rushed here, silly me. Rushed, but weren't... never mind. Do you want to get your stuff in? I'll forget if I don't do it now. Well, I'll wait for you then. Okay, it'll only take a second. I better take more time and then somebody else comes in here. Sayori dashes out of the room, leaving Monika momentarily alone. Monika sighs and starts jotting her thoughts on a sheet of paper. Express yourself. Be who you want to be. Make new friends. Discover a new you. Discover your heart. No. Write your heart out. No. Write into your heart. Write the way into your heart. Join the literature club. Write the way into your heart. Wow, that's lame. Monika! You startled me. Sorry, but it's something important. On the way to my classroom, there's a girl reading a book. Reading a book? Let's hurry and recruit her. Wait, are you sure she's not just doing homework? I could tell she was really into it. Well, I guess we could take a look. Monika grabs one of her flyers and stands up on her desk. Then the two depart to the classroom with Sayori leading the way. Is it Yuri? This way! You don't have to run. Well, in case she runs away, of course, Sayori leads Monika over to a particular classroom and lowers her voice to a whisper. See, in there. Monika peers through the window. Sure enough, there's a girl sitting alone, intently reading a book. I feel like a creep doing this. You should go inside and talk to her. Me? You're the president, and I would probably scare her away. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Monika takes a deep breath and timidly enters the classroom. That was fast. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Why, what happened? Well, I entered the classroom and she didn't even look up from her book, so I kind of just left her fly on her desk and then walked out. That's kind of cute. But I'm sure she'll see it and want to join the club. I hope so. Shall we head back now? The two head back to the classroom. Sayori feels rather accomplished and Monika still feeling a bit embarrassed by the encounter. This is giving more depth to Monika in a way, because we barely see Monika throughout the game until like the very end segment where she's like the only one. Upon returning, Monika and Sayori resume their strategy meeting. They discuss various different kinds of recruitment tactics from professional to silly. After going through Sayori's list, and with Monika coming up with ideas of her own, the two end in a better spot than from where they began. Well, I would say today was pretty productive, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we starting to make progress. I can't wait to get some new members. Hey, what's this? Sayori peers at a sheet of paper Monika was jotting on earlier. Oh, don't mind that. I was just thinking to myself, join the literature club. Right away into your heart. That's so cute. I thought it was a little overdramatic, but Sayori pauses and thinks for a moment. You know, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. But what do you mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I can tell from talking to you today. It seems like you're always afraid of doing something wrong. Yeah, but would you call yourself a perfectionist? Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, I always have an idea in my head of how I want things to go, and it's like, I can't accept anything less than that. But I think at the end, it helps me try my hardest at everything, so I don't think it's that bad. Like with this club, we have such an opportunity to make it into exactly how we envision it. But it feels like we only have one shot at it, so I'm just really afraid of it deviating from that vision. What's the vision? It's... if you don't have a vision, then why do you keep saying you have a vision? Monika pauses to think, but shakes her head to herself. She sighs. I don't know. I just want everyone to... Monika trails off. Smiling, Sayori taps her fingers against the sheet of paper. Right away into your heart. I think what you're trying to do is to make the club that you need the most out of anyone. Well, you're the one who knows yourself best, of course, but I'm here to help you. Monika returns Sayori's smile. It's sort of amazing how kind you are. We're really going to make this the best club ever. Sayori nods, and the two remain silent for a moment, who lost in thought. The only sound is the steady whisper of the air conditioner, and the only movement is the afternoon sunlight trickling its way in and out of the moving clouds. Sayori breaks the moment with a big yawn. You can't even save in the game, actually. I'm just thinking about that right now. You can't even save. Time to go home? You tell me. You're the president. In that case, today's meeting is officially over. I look forward to tomorrow. Me too. Sayori beams and grabs her things. You can go on ahead. I need a few minutes still. Look, I can't wait. That's alright. I can wait, though. I just want some alone time. In that case, Sayori waves enthusiastically at Monika. Good luck! Monika smiles and waves in return as Sayori spins her way out of the classroom. All alone, she sighs to herself and takes a minute to zone out. She wasn't prepared for the self-reflection encouraged by Sayori, but she decides it was something she probably needed right about now. An extra helping hand is always nice to have. The club I need the most. I don't get it. I just want to start a club with more passion, something that I could use to help lead people to happiness. Literature's the key to that, because it's the window to the real person inside of us. Underneath the person who's forced to always smile and blend in. The person who's forced to be... perfect. Monika suddenly notices a folder on the floor by her desk. Did Sayori leave this behind? Hope it doesn't have her homework in it. Worried, Monika opens the folder to check. Poems. It's a folder of poems. Aha! Become the flower. A theme of joy is a flower plucked from the ground. The colour, the scent. It's so pretty in my hair. Every day I pluck some flowers as though they grew just for me. A lifetime of peace and nourishment, yanked away in an instant. All for me. All for joy. I need more. I need more joy. I need more happy. Pluck, pluck, pluck every day. So pretty in my hair. You're going to die, and you too. Beneath my feet, what a dark subject that is. Beneath my feet a flower stands alone. It beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers. But to what ends? I look in every direction, and the field I stand in, the prosperous field, is a barren wasteland. The fruits of my labour, the carnage of my joy. And that is why I've decided I must become the flower. What the... Wait, Sayori? Okay, so that was rather interesting. That's the first part of trust, relatively short. But then again, it says that the contents of a side story equals the amount of content that's within the game. So, you can equally pass it as, well, the main game divided by 6 equals the amount of time it takes to get through these side stories. Another day passes in a flash and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monika should have come up with a plan for today's club tasks, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How do I let myself be the centre of attention? Sayori is going through these kind of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way round. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't think to ask about her own feelings. So much for a stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile, but upon seeing the downcast Monika, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monika? Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monika shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monika stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worried about me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. Trust. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday, so it was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monika massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable Sayori isn't ready to share certain things, but as unfair it is for Monika to pry, it's also painful for Monika to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monika takes a deep breath. Okay, I understand that you don't want me to worry, and I think I'll be able to put this aside so that we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monika paused to collect her thoughts. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in the ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart, or whatever. So, I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monika returns Sayori's smile. I promised. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine, we have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know. There's no one could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I think I just need some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You kinda just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can just start by writing your feelings and see what kind of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's not like a building not like building a railroad where you go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you want to put in and then you rearrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way to not get stuck right at the beginning. I understand. Yeah, I always get so caught up in how it sounds that I forgot about what's actually important. Yeah, why are you writing in the first place? What inspires you to write? Monika pulls out a pen and paper and starts writing on. Stop being a perfectionist, you idiot. Wow, I'm just kidding. You absolute jerk. Stop being a perfectionist. Monika scribbles out you idiot after she writes it down. No, keep it. What? Why? What are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. Call yourself an imbecile. But I was just, well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monika rewrites you idiot. She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad about myself for, and then I did that exact thing anyway. This is really going to take some getting used to. I believe in you. Thanks. I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course. Monika continues to be exercised, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it, but after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monika's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Phew! Monika looks up and down at her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I have to try really hard at it, but I think it's something that I enjoy doing. With you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Just think of the amount of help that Sayori is given to Monika at this stage. How could Monika ever betray everyone at the very end? Like, honestly, she's like the worst friend at the very end to all three of these. Like, all three of these have given her some kind of gift in a way, but yet Monika is like, for that one divine purpose of that protagonist, that boy, that personnel, I must wipe clean slate of every other character that is the main one aside him in this game. Let's try to work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Yay, let's do it. Monika and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club and themselves. Not simply from the recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. In due time. So that another day passes. As usual, Monika is the first one to the club room. With her is a printout of a revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monika and Sayori came up with. If only this was the flyer we gave to that one reading girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the old one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. I would say that From the Heart is the prequel to the Into the Heart, which is the present day. But the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monika and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. What if they were so tense looking at this? Monika thinks back to a previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be present if I can't even demonstrate what a club is supposed to be about? So, even someone like Monika really struggled at the beginnings. Beautiful, smart, athletic. A thing that a lot of guys would dream of in one personnel. But with that, the weight on Monika's shoulders only becomes heavier. Debate Club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints, and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monika was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself. For real. Monika pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of her pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. That's the advice that she gave to the player about having their pen stuck for too long, as it will create a blob. So, she's learning that from experience. Monika lifts her pen and stares at a little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it. No. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monika's canvas. Ugh! Out of spite for herself, Monika presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monika. Just move your hand, Monika writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Still a letter in itself. Still a poem. It's your own inner feelings. And look at those words reflecting back at you. No matter how morbid the situation is. Monika slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. Come on. Sayori's gonna wake you up eventually. The air conditioner seems louder today. Is it because it's hotter? I'm here! Hi. Monika hears Sayori approach her desk and stop for a second, probably reading a piece of paper. Then she sits down on the adjacent desk. Bad day? Me too. How come, Sayori? You too? The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable. Sayori takes a sheet of paper from Monika's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while. What would that be? Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monika with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monika takes a paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Sometimes, why is that the case? Why is that morbid? So morbid. Sayori, this is really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like a million times better than me. That's completely not true. Sayori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is, like, screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of a promise yesterday, I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. I have a feeling that Monika somehow remembers that piece of writing that Sayori wrote. And then from there, that's when the budding, the planning, the scheme that Monika's potted in her head really starts to come to fruition, gathering little bits of weakness about each of the characters and then unfolding from there. I trust you more than I'm scared. At those words, Monika stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monika's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monika waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? So I never tell anyone about these kind of thoughts that I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. But that's terrible. That's what Monika wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask me what's wrong. I know that because it used to be like that. What do you mean by used to be like that? Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. Sayori pauses again. Her solemn expression makes her look almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this, but another part of me, I think, just felt that it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling it was right for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence, and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club is only 2 people, but it already means as much to me. Ah. Monika feels a tightening sensation in her heart. A feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're so strong and brave, I don't even compare. Monika steps forward, but if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy, if you'd like. Ah. Damn. That's actually really tearing in some way. Damn. Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monika's shoulder. Through their contact, Monika can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head, and in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monika realizes that of all the days that have passed, this is the one where she really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise. Really. The future has yet to bring that to fruition. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless and everyone will be better off without me. Come on, Sayori, stop it. She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. You're not. I'm not good at anything. And it just feels like everyone just has to put up with me. And I hate it. I hate it. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice. Falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching her throat and chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away. And now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monika becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now, so she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. It's just being your friend. Monika offers a few words of comfort, but she knows, Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong, and Monika can't magically make them go away. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would. You have so much value, to me and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have happened. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what you brought here. You brought us a vision. And you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monika feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. Wow. The two share their embrace for a while longer, Monika letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. Damn. I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. Now look at who's supporting the other, Monika. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are. If that's what makes you happy. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayori nods. It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah, well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I could do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Well, that made me tired and hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say this is definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monika smiles. But I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of a door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Yuri? I guess we won't ever know until the next time. Male. Let's see. I've Laster. This was the first. Hold on. Like, this comes from 2019. When the game was still being built. The side stories, that is. Character discrepancy. Having run the control simulation for a while, it's evident that a certain character is missing from any mention or appearance. This makes me speculate that Monika's meddling is less clumsy than we think, because she would have had to manufacture this character herself as a way of forcing interaction between her and the user. Could that be why the character has such limited and dissonant personality traits? Or am I reading this? Am I reading this too much into this, sorry? Or am I reading too much into this? I'll open an issue to start tracking information observations on the anomaly of this character appearing, Lib Musel, engineer. I think this is kind of like a genetic framework of the character spawning into the game. Side stories. Thank you to everyone who worked so hard on the control simulation. I can't imagine how tedious it must have been to so delicately hide Monika's elevator permissions from her without disrupting our connection to the virtual machine. I imagine that's what that's called. Just to clarify, all of the recordings labelled side stories are part of a controlled simulation, right? I'm noticing some details of the characters' lives here and there that differ a little bit from those in Virtual Machine 1, even trivial ones. It is part of the butterfly effect for some of the Monika's more fundamental changes, or is it a result of her just messing around with the other characters in Virtual Machine 1 as part of her own experiment or for fun? So if I'm keeping track, we have what, like 5 different universes in total? With 3 or 4 of them created and destroyed by Monika, of course. It's funny because I keep wanting to speculate on which one is the real universe, but in reality, they all are. As real as ours is anyway. So each of these virtual machines are a universe of some kind. And this could be from like a different reality in which created Monika. And they're keeping track of like Monika's activities or progression. This is really interesting. Ria Vorti. One of the names wait a minute. Ria was one of the other names, not in the male, but or in this, but somewhere else. I think it was like in files somewheres, like not Traceback, but one of the other ones. Actually, not abbreviations, but another one. Not characters. Monika isn't there for some odd reason. Game. Oh yeah, I forgot to reset it. That's why. Not this one. Internal. Insecure directory. There we go. Ria is working on setting up a proxy mail server so that we can have proper remote communication without having to worry about the higher ups. Keep everything offline till then. Paula. So, Ria is mentioned more than once. But who exactly are these people? Is it like a tease to a future game in which Team Salvato are creating? It could even be like a prequel to Doki Doki Literature Club about creation of a AI or something that could possibly create other worlds. Let's see, finish the side story Trust 1, and then the other one by Monika is finish the side story Trust 1. What about number 2? Okay, poem by Sayori from the side story Trust. Then another one. What other ones are there? Acquire all of Sayori's other... Okay, so that's new. So Natsuki would also have her own poem. Oh, that is really precious in a way. That is honestly something else. I'm very grateful that is actually a thing. But there must be more than one CG then. Because we finished this side story. There are 5 others. So there's got to be more than one CG in certain stories. No other secrets. And this is the Literature Club classroom softly lit. So softly lit by the morning sunshine. That is a really pretty image, by the way. Any others? So, provided in an email communication. A rough sketch, or concept sketch, of what a faceless protagonist might have looked like if he was a real character. Now that's really interesting, because it's what if. It's like, if he was a real character, not is a... Well, he is technically a real character, but it's not canonical, in a sense. So that, folks, is the Monika Sayori side story. Next up, we're going to be looking at Sayori and Sayori and Yuri. This could all be in a certain order though, so it could canonically be in chronological order from trust to understanding to respect to balance to reflection to self-love. So rather than doing self-love first, you would obviously have to do the first 5 first if you want to understand it in kind of a chronological basis. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll be back in the side story selection with understanding in the next time. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I trust you all that you will be back for understanding and then respecting that. And there's a fine balance with the way that we watch these videos, upon with some reflection, and for ourselves, at the end of the day, self-love. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next time of Doki Doki Literature Club side stories. Plus, oh, I'm getting myself mixed up now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves.